Oh, we got jokes. Nice. Who am I to thank for this? All of you? Ah, nice. Appreciate it. Put 20 more pounds on me.
Coach, you said you were going to meet as a staff and talk about your plan for Atlanta. Tom's shown some desire after the game yesterday to want to play. What are your thoughts about your starters in this final game that can improve your playoff position?
No, but we can get better at a lot of things. So right now, I plan on playing them. We'll see as the week goes forward, but we can get better at a lot of things that we need to work on, and we don't need to take our foot off the gas.
What about your offensive linemen? Obviously, that's been a kind of a delicate spot for you guys this year. Tristan and Donnie, you got them back for this game. Would you still want to put them out there too?
Well, we don't have many to begin with. It's not like training camp where you have 80 guys, 90 guys. So we're limited to begin with, but some guys need some work on things, and as the week goes forward, we'll progress and make those decisions. But right now, everybody needs to plan on playing.
And on the broadcast, Aaron Andrews mentioned that, and talking to Byron Leftwich, that there's more of a concerted effort to throw on first down, be more aggressive on first down. What kind of prompted that? Like why now, I guess, of all weeks?
Well, I guess just study, just doing more things. I think we get blitzed less on first down, and obviously he has time to throw the football. Play action's been good for us all year, so we just try to do more of it.
How important is it to continue building that momentum? You just won 2 in a row, you clinched the division. Winning 3 in a row heading into the playoffs, I mean, it's got to boost morale overall, I would think.
It'll boost morale. Winning helps, period. Whether it's playoffs or regular season, we want to win every game you can play. Obviously, we had some tough ones we lost. We had some tough ones we won. But winning the last 2 the way we did, obviously that builds morale more, and you want to go in on a high note.
Can you start thinking about game plan preparation for that wild card game, even though you don't know for sure who you're playing in that game?
The films are broke down, but right now we're just worried about Atlanta.
What's the cost-benefit analysis? Anytime you play football, there can be injuries, right? It's collisions.
Correct.
You want to play better, cool. You want to have some 3-game winning streak, whatever. But if you lose a key starter, that could really torpedo your chances in the postseason. So how do you weigh? Because if you play Brady, you got to play your tackles, you got to play your offensive line. How do you weigh the potential of losing a key player that would greatly affect your chances the next week?
It's football. You can't play 16 games and then worry about the 17th. You can't play 3 preseason games and 16 games and practice every day and say he may get hurt on the 17th game. He can get hurt the first week, he can get hurt in training camp. If you worry about that, you're probably going to get hurt anyway. We signed up to play football and coach football. That's what we're going to do. And everybody that loves football, that loves to play, will play the game. Injuries are going to happen. Doesn't mean it happens in week 17, a playoff game, or preseason. You just got to coach it and you got to play it. If you're worried about injuries, you probably don't need to be playing this sport.
Would you consider pulling some players after maybe the first half? I think we've seen that in the past, a couple of years ago with your Super Bowl, when the Detroit game, when Blaine stepped in the second half.
Yeah, it's possible. Like I said, it's early in the week. We haven't made any decisions yet. We haven't met on it. We haven't talked about it. Everything's up on the table. We'll talk about it, and we'll move forward from there.
You talked a little bit about the Camarda play, the punt and scramble last night. But when you look at that, is that something you guys prep and coach and practice as a scramble drill, what to do in that situation, or how much of it is just instinct?
That was all instinct on his part. We don't practice botching a punt. It happens, but you don't practice botching a punt, especially running to the sideline and making a kick like he did. Very instinctive of him to do that. It was a heck of a play.
The deep passes that you hit yesterday, is there a benefit in that moving forward in terms of giving opponents something more to think about that maybe hadn't been there as much this year?
Well, it's been thought about. They've been having a safety over top, and he's been doubled most of the year, so it really hasn't been there. We caught him in some single coverage, and we made him pay.
Todd, Anthony Nelson obviously has played 3 straight games where he's played every snap, but to have the 2 strip sacks, to have 3 forced fumbles in the last month of the season, how much has he kind of stepped up in that void with Shaq being out to help you there?
He's been huge with the turnovers and the sacks. Just playing solid overall defense. Nelson's been one of the smartest guys we had when we got him. He was just behind two great players. So he's coming into his own right now, and we like his progress.
I know that you kind of mentioned this yesterday about just having better protection. And I know that you got some guys back, Donovan Smith and Tristan Wirfs, but like when Donovan was out there, I know sometimes those deep throws weren't there to be had before he took the break. Like how much was he hurting before he took those few weeks off to rest his foot?
Well, it's hard to tell. Donovan's not going to say anything, obviously, but he looked healthier yesterday than he's looked in a while. So, that's good to see. Hopefully he can continue that.
You hear the turnovers come in bunches and things like that, but guys have to make plays, right? So why do you think, who are the guys that have been making the plays to get the ball out and get the ball back to your offense?
Well, it's been showing Bunning and Nelson have been doing a heck of a job right now. So those two in particular, we've been getting some knockdowns. Hicks has been getting his hands on balls, deflecting them, but the turnovers have been coming from Nelson and Bunning.
Todd, you got a couple games late where you've tried to suck up on longer field goals and he hasn't been able to make the kicks. Had a missed extra point, had a shorter kick miss yesterday. Is that a concern at all with where he's been?
The block is more concerning because it was a low ball. Obviously, we got to get some height on that one. That one's more concerning. The longer kicks at the 35, depending on down and distance, he typically makes those. He's made them all in pregame. We just missed them in the game.
But like the 50-plus yarders, is there any thought to maybe staying out on the field as opposed to bringing them out there? I know
Yeah,
that's
there's a lot of
necessarily
thought.
his strength.
Oh, there's a lot of thought of that. There's a lot of thought.
The regular season can be a pressure cooker anyway, right? I mean, you're in this tunnel, it's week to week, that, don't have much time to think about the last game, but when you get here, you're in the postseason. Even as a coach, you said yesterday the games are a little too close to your heart, but is there a little bit of exhale here? Is there a little bit of, okay, we got one goal accomplished, we can kind of take a breath, not take your foot off the accelerator per se, but at least that part of it is over.
I mean, you smile and you're happy about the first part, but you don't take your foot off the gas like you said. You try to get better at things going in and make sure you're shoring everything up before the postseason starts.
Antoine Winfield Jr., I know he's had some injuries this year, and he was out there yesterday. It looked like he was in coverage on one of the touchdowns. How did he grade out on tape when you watched him?
As a DB, you can have 60 good plays and 4 bad plays, and you can grade out not so well. I thought he was average for the most part. Obviously, you give up a touchdown as a DB. He doesn't give up many at all. He gave up one. But he came back. He had 2 penalties. He gave up one. He had 2 penalties and he gave up a touchdown. So all the other good plays usually negated by that, and he understands that.
How far is he from 100%? Because, again, I know he's had some injuries throughout the season.
It's week 17. Nobody's 100% on this team or probably any other team. You kind of get up and go, and you work with what you got, and you play ball.
So you guys had Bray inactive yesterday and then Rudolph. Was there any rationale behind that, whether it's better blocking or wanting to focus on the run? Or
The
anything?
packages were different that involved break. We didn't get to all of them, but, going into the game, we had certain packages we wanted to run that involved him more than Cam.
Is this a game at least that if you have a guy that's nicked up, if it's Carlton Davis, if it's somebody that's just not healthy enough, you play him maybe if it meant everything? Is there guys you would hold back just to make sure they're more closer to 100% in the playoff game?
Well, we don't like to play injured people to begin with. If there's a guy that's really hurt, you hold him back. If a guys can play right now, early in the week, they're going to play. So that's kind of how it goes. We don't have the same amount of guys we had in training camp. Like I said, you can't just sit a whole offensive line down. You only got to have 3 playing. You can't do that because there are not many people. You want to start everybody else, and those guys are playing all the special teams. So now they're playing the whole game, and you got to weigh the pluses and minuses to that. So we'll see how the week goes, and we'll try to make some arrangements or corrections if we need to make them, and we'll go from there.
Carlton and Carl are big parts of your defense. And I don't know, given the fact that you guys have already clinched, would there be any thought to resting them maybe another week if, would typically they would be healthy? I don't know their situation, if they would be healthy enough to play this week. Would you want to play them or just to give them some reps, or would you rather them rest so that they'd be really fresh for the postseason?
If they're healthy, they should plan on playing.
Anything else? Coach, any update on Jensen?
No, not right now. He's just working every day. No update on him.
Would he be in play all for Sunday? Is he a guy that would benefit from maybe getting a chance to test himself in a game?
Not at this time. We'll see how the week goes. Yep.
Thanks.
Yep. Thank you for the cookies.
I'm sorry they didn't have 1%. I went to 3 different places.